What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the right side of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. He is under the name Franco, but he's actually known as Ayah. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Oranos, his name is GreenSeaSquash. The map is Alfheim. And if you don't know who these two players are, man, are you in for a treat. GreenSeaSquash and Ayah are currently considered the two best Age of Mythology, the Titans players in 2020 currently. They are considered the best current active players and they play insanely well. Yes. However, this game is from 2018. I've got no idea what their skill level was back then, but I'm sure this will be interesting games at the very least. Zeus versus Oranos on Alfheim is a pretty interesting map, pretty interesting matchup. It's generally low hunt, so it does allow for Centaur to be fairly good here, and it's sort of like the Centaur strategy that was around, or even is still around against Oranos, is basically the idea behind it is you want to get around about 6 or 6+ Centaur. If you can keep them alive and get full pop army, there is next to nothing that the Oranos player can do to beat you. So the Oranos player's win condition is to keep your Centaur count low by using things like Shockwave and just catching them. And we just see the scout over here going to be bashing away at an Oracle trying to steal these cows. Not going to be able to do that. Anyways, win condition is keeping those Centaur counts low. If you can do that, you're going to be in a great spot. And for the Zeus player, it's to deal damage and not die, because you may actually just flat out die if you go Centaur against like some solid aggression from an Oranos as well. So you have to make sure you're doing some damage to the Oranos to slow him down. Lots of things like that. Lots of things. And there's a mana coming up right now for GreenSeaSquash. An interesting position on the mana though. Like normally, well, he's actually forgotten the mana. Let's just pretend that that didn't happen. Let's just look away from it. We just see Franco going after the Auroch as well. It's nice to get that one. It's nice to eat that one early because he will get pushed off that nice and fast by any strong 430 Valor push. I'm not sure if I don't think back in 2018 they really had like a solid build to get out Jason and Odysseus straight away and get a second town center. But there were plenty of one town center super fast Jason Odysseus's with Centaur going around there, so that will probably be what we see from Franco. There's even some beautiful deer here as well. If he can secure those, he's going to be really happy about that. We've also got Mithril Horseshoes here. Another relic, we have Gaia's Book of Knowledge, and down the bottom we have Titan's Treasure and the Bow of Artemis. You can see Swatch throwing up his temple there, and he will be trying to advance. He's very late, going up at 3:45, so he's going to be advancing at 4:45. And he's even still got villagers left onto the chicken here because he needs to get out hand axe and pickaxe. He needs to get an extra bit of food income, and it's looking like he's actually been pushed back onto berries and chicken because he has not scouted well enough to see that there was Auroch here. Yeah, man, he could just walk right here if he just scouted a little bit better. And this is partly why I've I started actually scouting with my oracles using shift click, like this kind of vibe, instead of idling them and using their natural scouting pattern, because you miss so much of the map if you don't do that. And while this scouting pattern is nice bolt there to get that Mythil Horseshoes back from Ayah, while this is actually technically faster, you scouted this area here. This is worthless line of sight, so it's not necessarily faster. It's just yeah, it depends on the terrain. There's the Prometheus, And we do see Hermes is coming as well. Jason going to be bringing the relic back. And Ayah going to be leaving the Orc nice and early there. I think he saw the Promethean offspring coming and he knows that he just has to run away from that. Does not want to risk losing anything. More relics going to be coming here as well. Feels good. Feels very, very good. And there is the classical age through Hermes for Ayah. Getting out Sylvan Law straight away. Going to allow him to pick off these Promethean offspring nice and easy. Gets that first shot for free, but the second one does miss them. Valor comes down for GreenSeaSquash. Unfortunately hits an Oracle Hero. You hate to see it. And he's just going to be sitting there costing 2 population for who knows how long, because you have to notice in him, because you can't just hit idle military, can you? It's not going to. They're not going to show up as idle military because technically they're scouting for you. And now the heroes are out, and these oh, this looks like a scary army here for GreenSeaSquash. The Odysseus and the Jason, they defend pretty well, and the villagers with that forward mining or lumber camp there or storehouse there is pretty aggressive. You don't really want to be that too far forward. Anyways, we are seeing the double counter barracks here for GreenSeaSquash because he doesn't have much other option. But heroizing a Terma here. Be chasing these Centaur away, but both players not on hunt at the moment. Even though Ayah's got map control currently, he's not going to feel comfortable moving out just yet. He's even got cows. Does he have husbandry coming through? No husbandry, no economic upgrades either. So these Terma just moving in. And a nice pullback from Ayah, nice and early on that villager. Very proactive, and he manages to keep that one alive. Jason going to be taking a couple of hits of damage, going to be garrisoning into the sentry tower there, as we do see the watchtowers coming out right now. It's going to be huge. The Terma down on this location, checking out the deer that are not being gathered from. So much unused hunt. This is such a bizarre game. I think if GreenSeaSquash knew how much pressure he was able to assert right now and where Ayah's kind of military abilities are, he would be for sure just moving a couple of villages out and eating these deer or something like that, throwing up a manor over there, just about to run out of the berry bush as well, so he may be thinking about moving out then, but then the Centaur are going to start running around. And now the medium Terma moving in, looking to grab some villager kills over here, but they're sitting quite close to the watchtower, and I don't think that GreenSeaSquash, well, he does see the gold mine, he's going to move in, maybe going to get a villager pick. He actually will get one here. He's actually managed to move in very nicely, and Ayah has not spotted this at all. Running those low HP Terma away, and he will be able to dodge most of these watchtower shots because he does run very, very fast. He will be out of there as the Hippocon trying to chase him down. The Hippocon do have that speed though, because of the relic, and even some Centaur coming in. Nice micro from Ayah there. Nice, oh god, this micro and the Centaur as well, managing to keep those guys alive. And the Hippocon doing their thing, as Ayah is slowly but surely getting a strong foothold in this game, but GreenSeaSquash getting his own second town center, leaving some units back here. I like that he's done this. He's getting some catapulties out because he knows that the Hippocon are going to be the majority of this army. But whenever someone does this and starts mixing in catapulties instead of Mermillo, all you got to do is throw down a military academy and you just mix in some hoplite, and you completely destroy those catapulties because they might have decent stats in terms of everything except for their attack damage, and they do a lot of extra bonus damage against cavalry. So the hoplites completely shred them as like a kind of soft counter or something like that. And the centaur moving around. Coming in, they will be able to get a pick off here. Oh, trying to garrison the Terma. It doesn't work like that, but there could be a shockwave here. There's the shockwave. Going to try and pick off as many of these as he can in one shot. He gets 3 pickoffs. He gets 3 pickoffs. That shockwave was gigantic for GreenSeaSquash. That completely changes the entire tone of this game. Ayah was having everything that he wanted here. He had 6 centaur going on 7 centaur, and now he's back down to 3 or 4, which means that which means that GreenSeaSquash can just continue to push further and further ahead. And we'll see if Ayah can make this work or not. He's got his second town center up. He's going to have to boom very hard and get late game here and try and move into Mermillo. Third town center coming up for GreenSeaSquash. Does manage to pick off a Terma there, but his economy is so good that he's not going to care too much about that. And the centaur retreating, turning around. If you can get some free hits there, you got to be super careful with them. Takes a big chunk of damage over there. Still making more of those centaurs, I believe. Coming out very slowly. And we do see that's an interesting decision there from Ayah. He's actually decided to just throw 7 villagers onto the favor, and I think that means that he can produce centaur one at a time, like consistently. Yeah, he just goes up. The favor is so fast that it's perfectly fine. Probably even just go 6 actually. 6 villagers on favor and you'd be able to spam those out, but you may be able to get that centaur mass number back. We'll see if it matters or not at this point, because how far GreenSeaSquash got ahead with that first shockwave, and a second shockwave will be coming as well. You do see the hopline does get picked off. Military barracks coming up. More centaur coming in, and he has hit quite a nice massive units here. Now he's sitting at 100 population of 110, throwing up more houses as well, even making out some of those hoplites that we were talking about before because of the catapulties. So nice reaction there, but Ayah's going to have to transition into some farms soon. It's going to be very important, and this town center is not going to be free for him at all. Centaur going to get picked off here. He does retreat that one. Oh, nice raid now from Ayah. Going to be picking off a citizen, or even picking off 2 citizens while the army is chasing back through this wall here. Picks off 2 citizens there. The hero citizen is turning around, maybe going to be able to get a pick off there, but does not manage to pick off the centaur. The centaur running straight past these hero Terma. He's going to lose a couple of them. That's not the right pathing there, and he almost loses the other one there. And the Hippocon are coming out. They will be able to clean up these centaur, doing a nice amount of damage there. That was huge, absolutely gigantic there for Ayah, picking off all those citizens, picking off all those Terma, and that Oranos army was just too spread out, too spread thin, and that's going to be a big swing here for Ayah, who's now got 8 centaur out. He has 8 villagers on favor, and he is spamming centaur like a madman right now. And that's going to be hilarious, because like, what can GreenSeaSquash do about this apart from manually heroize these Terma? Maybe even manually heroize some Mermillo here would be a good idea. And he's going to have a shockwave soon. There is still access to Siegefire, so if Ayah wants this town center, he could utilize the Siegefire to get there. GreenSeaSquash, on the other hand, he's not advanced to the next age just yet, and he's getting pushed back on the front. But he is on 3 town centers. And he's probably just overproduced on the Terma, to be honest. He's still producing those Terma. He's making some Ballista to deal with the hoplites. And this is actually super interesting. There are Mermillo here, but the Ballista Catapulti army does kind of put a spanner in the works for this sort of Oranos army, and mixing in the Terma to pick off centaurs is huge as well. Now the villagers moving forward, going to be grabbing the 3rd town center for Ayah here, but he's sitting on quite a bit of wood right now. He needs to transition into farms, get to his heroic age, get to his mythic age before mythic age comes in for GreenSeaSquash, because that's going to be very, very big. And the town center's going up. GreenSeaSquash can't really fight this one here. He's going to try and get some picks here. He does manage to get a centaur, which is huge, but I'm going to piss another centaur. This is not so good for Ayah. Huge shockwave, but not onto the centaur, and that's going to be huge there. But these Kyro Ballista doing so much damage from the back of the fight. But heavy hoplite coming in, and they're onto those Terma. They're onto those Terma like a kid in a candy shop right now, absolutely destroying them. That is crazy. How strong the Greek army just melts that Terma-based army of the Oranos. You just can't go that heavy onto Terma unless your opponent is massing archers, because he just they'll just die. They'll just die to those hoplites, because I think they get extra bonus damage against Terma, I believe. They get 50% extra against Terma. GreenSeaSquash gets to the Heroic Age through Thea, though. Maybe able to turn this around a little bit if he gets straight to the Mythic Age, throwing up a market in the back of his base here. The army of Ayah is looking for something to pick off. He could make an attack onto this town center if he wanted to. But still no looking into the Heroic Age for Ayah, and he's going for some more raids with the Centaur. He will be able to spot this, but he does decide to turn around. That could have been a couple of citizen pickoffs there for Ayah, but not happening just yet. GreenSeaSquash now on his way to the Mythic Age, as the hoplites are going to be coming onto this town center. There is no real answer to this, as the army is sort of out of position to be picking off a bunch of these reinforcements. The town center will be going down with that many villagers, or sorry, hoplite here, but the villagers over here are going to be falling. They get pulled out of the town center, and now the citizen are under attack by these centaur, who are trying to repair this town center against the hoplite raid that's coming in. All of the Murmillo are coming in, though, at this point, going to be getting turned onto by the centaur. And this attack here, while it's done a lot of damage to the economy, it's not going to end up with a town center kill, and these centaur will have to get out of here at some point, or they get picked off by these Stymphalian birds, because Stymphalian birds are incredibly powerful in this situation here. And we do see some more centaur do get picked off. Loses 3 centaur there as he's trying to run away, because he's running away with the hoplite in the control group, or in the army there, meaning that they're only moving at 4.7 speed. Really nice defense there by GreenSeaSquash, dealing with that quite nicely, but he did lose quite a few citizens. Looks like another centaur there. But at this point, I think that Ayah is settled himself enough that he can be like, all right, I don't need centaur anymore to win this game. I just need to get Mythic Age, I need to get Hephaestus, I need to survive this this Tartarian gate, which is coming in. Does plant that one directly in here, just out of, no, not out of line of sight of the town center, so that's going to be huge. There is Masons here. We do see a ceasefire coming in right now for Ayah, who's like, all right, I can just return home, throw up walls, return home, get my hoplite onto this, get to the next age, because you don't want to slow this down. You need to be getting next age here if you can. We see some destroyers coming in, and this is where the pressure from Oranos players becomes unbearable. And it's looking as though GreenSeaSquash may be looking to go to the Titan age here very, very fast. So we'll see if he's able to do that one or not. And now the hoplite coming in. How many hoplite are here is the question. We have only 3 hoplite and 3 hippocons. It's not going to be an easy Tartarian gate to get picked to get killed here. We see Apollo is the god of choice. Not going through Dionysus here, though bronze could have been an interesting counter to this shenanigans here. And we do see an immediate mark coming up. We may be seeing a necessary Hera here. You don't want to go Hera, but if you have to stay alive, you will go that in this matchup. And we do see these centaurs still getting built at this point. Which god is the god of choice is the question here. Probably he was chucking up in the middle, and he is going Hera. Realizes that it's going to be vitally important for him to pick off an entire army with that there. We do see Shockwave getting thrown in as the Lampade does manage to pick off a centaur that is going to help with picking off the villager before turning his attention back onto the Lampade that converted him. And that Centaur will be chasing that rampage until it gets picked off. And now the town center for Ayah under siege. But will it go? Or probably will go down before the lightning storm. So this is going to be super difficult for him. GreenSeaSquash with this timing is gigantic. We've even got a palace coming up, so we may even smelling the lightning storm. So that's going to keep 10 units guaranteed alive here if he can garrison them in time. We'll just maybe trying to get the town center back up. He needs to get more gold income. This storehouse is really bad with all these villagers here. Just drop 2 more storehouses. That would be so much more gold income. You can see he's struggling a little bit on the gold as well. And make a big difference there. Maybe even has, oh man, storehouse on the wood would be huge as well. GreenSeaSquash has begun researching Secrets of the Titans now. So he's on his way to the Titan Age as he's picked off this town center just to stamp out any sort of defense that could be possibly being mounted by Ayah. And the Mythic Age is just about to pop. There it is, and there's going to be an instant lightning storm here to pick off a lot of these units. And we jump over to GreenSeaSquash's perspective. He's going down on the population very, very fast. So Ayah able to defend for the time being, but these units are going to get reproduced very quickly. But now we've got a pacifist coming out to defend against the infantry-based army over here. Even with the Medusa as well, going to help out quite a bit. And we do have 1,300 gold left. The story is going to be GreenSeaSquash's Titan Gate is coming, and we're at 63%. It takes apparently 60 seconds to research in this patch, so this was pre-nerf on the Titan there. So that's going to be a thing that that Ayah's going to have to deal with somehow. We'll see what he can come up with. Potentially going for his own Titan could be a way through this, but not sure it's going to be possible at this point, to be honest. Just not enough favor, not enough resources. He needs to get his town center back. And there's the Titan Age. Titan Gate going to get thrown up somewhere. No. No Titan Gate. Fair enough. Throw up the Titan Gate here, that'd be funny. He throws it up there, alright. This is some BM. Right next to the gold mine. Trying to bait the Greek army. That's funny. And this army just gets completely shredded right now. It's bronze upgrades to no armor. We've got copper shields, but the destroyers just tank the damage so well there. He's going to be retreating, but I don't see it here. I do not see it right now for Ayah. Is he going? No chance of making any sort of a comeback. It looks like he's moved up to the top gold mine here. Villagers are finished on this gold mine. They'll be moving up there as well, I think, or just not touching them at this point. Fair enough. And the granary's going down and the houses will be falling. He's trying to build units, but he's just... I think at this point he's just given up and he's just letting himself get run over with all the idols happening here. Anyways, GG, well played by GreenSeaSquash. Nice push there. This all kind of came down to that shockwave back here, which set Ayah back quite significantly, forced him to put a bunch of villagers onto favor here, and I think it would have possibly meant that the heroic age from Ayah could have been, sorry, the mythic age from Ayah could have been coming out when this attack was coming in. So it probably could have been worth it to just ceasefire the shockwave in the early stages of the game there. That's what people started doing around maybe like late 2019, early 2020. Like just ceasefiring the first shockwave, you know, so you can keep the pressure going. Anyways, good game. Someone's asking for the upgrades. We've got hand axe, plow, shaft miner. No surprises there, and we probably got every single upgrade for GreenSeaSquash. No, almost. no flight control or carpenters. Well played. Well played. We'll move on to game number 2. This is a series. I'm not sure if it was a best of 3 or a best of 5. So we will be seeing what the situation is there. But we'll move on to it very shortly.